Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the number one home for personal development. My name is Ken Billings, if you didn't know. Wherever you are, I hope you are being appreciated and never tolerated. I hope you are being loved on. I hope all of your greatness is being recognized by those that you are around. You at the right place at the right time. You could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with me, and I definitely appreciate that. This is the number one home for personal development. This is ministry for the abstract mind, and this is a safe space for everybody out there that has an out the box philosophy. Welcome, welcome, happy Sunday. I hope you are good. If you have babies, I hope you are keeping them close to you. I hope you are walking with them and talking with them and allowing them to teach you. So shout out to you. Shout out to the parents. I want to give a special shout out to the parents because yo, to show up every day the right way and to stand 10 toes with these cubs, salute to you. It's not an easy thing. If you have someone in your life that's loving on you, anybody, family, significant other, anybody, co-worker, whoever is trying to learn you and explore you and see you, yo, you should show gratitude because we live in a very dark world. So if someone sees any kind of light in you, whatever the relationship, yo, honor that. I got good news for everybody. I got great news. The great news that I have for you is that personal development is for everybody. It doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter your relationship dynamics. Personal development is for everybody, right? That's the great news, right? The rich man still needs personal development. The poor man needs personal development. Tall woman, short woman, African woman, American woman. It doesn't matter where you're at in life. Everybody needs personal development, and it's for everybody. So I got great news. My book of the day is a continuation in our series, and we've been slow grinding these principles because this ain't something that you can just you can't speed watch these things. You can't speed read through certain ideals and certain concepts. You have to work through the concept. When you are living a philosophy, you have to work through it. You have to be the philosophy. You have to be the ideal. You have to live the concept. So my book of the day is us continuing to live out these principles. And that is the seven laws of hermetics. And I hope that you have got something from our conversations about this because this is not spooky ideals. They are abstract, but they can be implemented in your life, right? But you gotta work through it though. You can't move on to the next one. You have to understand rhythm before you move on to cause and effect. You have to understand mentalism before you move on to polarity. Now, they're all one thing, right? But for you to really, 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 really understand the totality, you have to implement it. What does as above, so below look like in your real life? What does vibration look like in your real life? And our topic today is what does cause and effect look like in your real life? The name of this build is Unraveling the Domino Effect, understanding the principle of cause and effect. Right? Many people say karma. Oh, your karma is going to get you. Right? Cause and effect is a real thing. Now, a lot of things uh, get blamed on our personal behavior instead of cause and effect. We'll say, oh, that's the system. We'll say, oh, that's because of religion, or that's because of patriarchy or capitalism or communism, or that's because of trauma. But if you notice, everybody seems to take the power away from the individual and make everybody a victim. Everybody's a victim, right? It's men's fault. It's women's fault. It's the church's fault. It's the system's fault. It's Monsanto's fault. It's Call of Duty's fault, right? It's a rapper's fault. Somebody else has to take the blame for why you're in the condition that you're in. Because it can't be you, right? But surely it is. It's just you don't understand cause and effect. So you might think, you know what, the system is this way, and therefore this is why I think the way I do. That would be an excuse if we wasn't in the information age. But since we're in the information age, that's no longer an excuse. You can't get away with that. You can't say because of post-traumatic slave stress that your family is in the condition that they're in. That can't be the reason, right? Because there's too many uh, philosophies and there's too much work that has been put on the books for you to scale and change your mind. So that can't be an excuse anymore. Can't be patriarchy. It can't be feminism. It can't be none of that, right? If you are taking L's, if you're not where you want to be, if your marriage or the babies or your relationships, if it doesn't look how you think it should look, that's on you. Full accountability over where you are, right? Full accountability. Now, who's ready to take full accountability for their life? I mean, everything. Who's man enough and who's woman enough to take full scale accountability for their life? I don't like this man, right? If you're a woman, which woman can honestly raise her hand and be like, I caught an L, that's on me. Ain't got nothing to do with that man. Or I don't like my baby mother. Or I don't like my ex. Or I don't like my job. Who can raise their hand and be like, you know what? This is all on me. Whatever's going on in my life is based on cause and effect. But it has nothing to do with what Andrew Tate calls the matrix, the system. It has nothing to do with communism and socialism and patriot. No. Whatever you're looking at has everything to do with you not tapping into cause and effect. Example. I remember I walked in I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm not going to take myself out of the story, right? It's days I've been in my own crib and I've looked around and said, this ain't enough. The people around I'm feeling like can be better. My environment can be better. I don't like how my refrigerator looks. I don't like these bills stacking up, right? I don't like the system that is going on in my crib, right? I don't like the fact that we're not getting up at when our alarm goes off, right? I don't like the fact that we just made $20,000. Why we don't have nothing now, right? I don't like the fact if hey, what is my kid doing eating that candy or drinking that, right? Bunch of things that I don't like. Now, I could go on a tirade and start pointing the finger, right? But whatever I dislike, this is the effect, right? If I don't like the money, if I don't like the refrigerator, if I don't like the woman, if I don't like the kid, what I'm looking at is the effect. This is not the cause. What is the cause? What is the cause for this woman looking like this, the child looking like this bank account looking like this? What is the cause? The cause is me. But let's go a little deeper. This kid, this woman, this house, this bank account, this refrigerator, this looks like how my mind looks. So the cause is my mind. Okay, but all right, so why does my mind look like this? Okay, I'm being irresponsible when it comes to my gatekeepers because we're all affected by music, ministry, and media. Now, I don't have a problem with none of those three. The issue is why am I watching it? Why am I listening to it? If I already know what the play is, if I understand frequency and vibration, and I understand that things are based on agendas and politics and hidden symbols, if I already know this, then why am I allowing myself to be a consumer of music, ministry, and media? So what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, what I'm bobbing my head to, what I'm clicking play on, yo, that's having an effect on my household. Real time effects. Why am I listening to people on panels argue about their gender problems? Right? This conversation doesn't match what I want in real time. Why am I listening to it? Why am I listening to any ministry where the deity, I can't win with it? I got to keep on praying and watch people that's not smarter than me eat more than me, right? Why do I show up for that? Where it's a one-sided relationship. I give everything to the ministry and nothing comes back. Where's my heaven on earth? Why am I watching the shade room? Why am I listening to blogs? Why am I listening to people give their opinion about what a celebrity says? People that don't even read. But guess what? All that's here before me and it's going to be here after me. Why am I showing up participating in this? And then I have to get I have the nerve to get mad at a woman and say what she ain't. And my kid and start judging the new human. We got some nerve judging the babies. They just got here, right? We tell them what they think. We tell the babies what we think about them. You ain't this. You never do this. Yo, them kids is 11, 12, 13, 20 years old. But you've been here 40 years, 45 years, still making the mistakes. Ain't that some nerve? Right? But whatever we are looking at in those babies, in that man, in this household, that has everything to do with your mind. Let me tell you something. Yo, you want to make some money? The business model is to tell everybody it ain't their fault. It gotta be something else. It gotta be these men. It gotta be these women, right? Bruh, get your passport. It's these women. It's not you, right? Sis, huh? Get the femininity. Get the femininity coach. Get the bad coach, right? Come here because you're missing something. You ain't missing nothing, yo. The problem is inside problem. You can't go to no coach. The only thing they could do is give you a mirror. If the person is not making you look directly at yourself, then what's the ministry? We are in Aquarius. We are in analog. It's the information age. But what information age? The knowledge of yourself. So the person can only give you a mirror at this point. If they're looking at your life, if you are crying about the decisions that you made, losses that you've took, if you're crying how your life looks and they point your direction, your attention to something else, that is a op. Whatever your life looks like, the only thing the teacher can give you is a mirror. The only thing the speaker can give you is a mirror, because whatever you're looking at, that's the effect. What's the cause? The mind, the heart, right? So for me, for me, I remember catching myself in judgment. You know, I'm judging the people around me. I'm I'm being very critical and harsh about what they are not. And I'm making excuses and saying the reason why I'm not getting what I want is because what everybody else isn't. That's not how cause and effect works. Over here, we practice supreme accountability. If there is something wrong and it's in my space, it's my fault. Right? Now, I'm not speaking of anything where I'm not at. If I am there and something is off, it's my fault. The principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There are so many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Cause and effect is a law. It's already baked into our environment when we get here. It's a law that we observed, right? It's already here, right? Cause and effect. Whatever you're looking at, that's the effect. But the cause is a little more deeper than we would like to discuss at times, because we stray so much away from the mind and the inner world, excuse me, that we don't actually understand what supreme accountability is. So let me explain what supreme accountability is. You understand that you have dual natures. This is not the only you. You know this because when you close your eyes, you can see. The senses that you have in the physical world, when you begin to meditate, you notice that you still have those senses. You can still hear without hearing. You can still taste without tasting. You can still see without opening your eyes, right? So you know there's another self. You know this because you can control your brain. You can talk to yourself. You can have a full conversation in your head. Okay, that's something. Okay, so there's a dual self. This is not the real you. There's something else there. Okay, the effects that we have in our life are triggered from the something else. The something else, our other self, is being programmed a certain type of way. And this is the effects that we're getting, but we are allowing the program. You have to understand it's like weights. You need resistance. There is never going to be a time when there isn't a system, some type of system, and the system is going to try to take something from you. It's going to try to impose its will on you. It does not matter what time span you are born, there's always something. The world is not going crazy. The world has always been like this. You just have the internet and it has shrunk. So you think there's something off on the planet. Okay, give me a time where it wasn't like this. Wars, violence, sex, jealousy, envy, hatred, right? Some type of hierarchy. If you're not the biggest, fastest, strongest, right? Who has the most resources, land, missiles? This is the human story. And then what happens is you have these enlightened thinkers that come and they have an influence on the planet, and they show us that there's another way, but few are able to live like the sage, whether that's a Krishna, a Jesus, a Muhammad, a Buddha, a Lao Tzu. There's always these minds that come, and they try to tell humanity that there's another way. But for the most part, this is what it is. So the world isn't crazy. But if it wasn't like this, you could never experience knowledge of self, because you have to fight for it. You have to fight to go inward. Fasting, restraining, detox. You have to put your body through suffering in order to know yourself. So, the financial problems are necessary. The depression, the weight gain, the stress are necessary for knowledge of self, for the knowledge of self journey. If you don't go through it, you can never look in the mirror. It's necessary. So don't get upset about the program. Don't talk as if the world has never been like this. How do you know? You just got here. How do you know? Right? You are just finding out now through the internet that there's different damn religions than yours, different looks, different relationship dynamics. Many of you are so shocked that humans act out every single thought. You are so shocked and you think the world is off, but it ain't. It's the world. Okay, now what's your responsibility? Your responsibility is to go inward, right? But how though? How do we go inward? We got to put the body through some type of suffering. So there's so many different types of fasting. So when I was having issues in my home, I wasn't putting my body through suffering. I was allowing myself to eat everything, anything. If it smelled good, I would eat it. I was also allowing myself to watch anything and hear anything and engage in any kind of conversation, right? I'm not going inward. Everything I'm doing is bringing me away from knowledge of self, right? Knowledge of self is you're able to look at your life and you don't put nut paint where it ain't. It is not your ex-husband, right? Or your wifey. That ain't the problem. The problem is how the hell did you meet them in the first place? That's just the effect. You met them because something in you attracted that, right? So we're spiritual until it's time for us to hurt, and then we turn into 3D victims, right? We want somebody to avenge us, but on a regular, we're in the numerology, we're in the crystals and the natal chart until something happened. Then you ain't spiritual no more, right? When you're dolo and you're doing your magic, patriarchy ain't an issue until a man makes you mad. Now it's the issue. But okay, yo, is it anything in your energy, anything, right, that aligned y'all with each other? Okay, cool. I'm gonna say yeah, and there's a way where those kind of individuals don't come around you no more. There's a way where, not saying that life is not going to happen because it is, but is there a way where the results you have now that you're not feeling, is there a way to repel that away from you? Totally. And that is knowledge of self, a little deeper. That is putting your body through a little suffering so you can start to open up those other senses and you can start to have a relationship with yourself. It's super hard to fast. It's very hard to go without food, especially if you're a foodie. It's very hard to not look at gossip online. It's hard to not listen to music that doesn't have a dope vibration to it. It's very hard to leave your religion, the one your grandmother showed you, because it doesn't work for you. Those things are very difficult. That's why most people don't do it, right? But when you start to put the body through a little suffering and make your body uncomfortable, you'll notice that something is starting to wake up inside of you. It always been there. It's a seed already in there. And you notice that the more you suffer the body, you start to feel, right, what you really are. And that is a spirit having a human experience. You know what I'm saying? But you start to feel it like, yo, this ain't it. The church folks call it the flesh, the flesh. Okay, so if the flesh is the op, if the flesh gets the inside into hella shit, then what is the inside and how do I wake this thing up? It has to be more than just, you know, don't be a slave to your flesh. Okay, but why not? Am I more than this? And if so, how do you tap into it? And when you tap into it, not just have an experience, is there a code that we can write? Can we write a code on that other self that, yo, I want to have a different outcome? I'm cool on poverty, right? I understand it's necessary as a learning experience, but that ain't it though. So how do we get the different results? You get the different results by, number one, full scale accountability. But two, when you suffer the body, you start rewriting the code. Right? Like, I remember I heard a woman say, We was chopping it up. She was a coach, and we having a good conversation. She said something that was so ill to me because she was a black woman, and I never heard anybody say this, let alone black woman. She said, "I'm entitled to money." I'm like, what? I was bothered by the word entitlement. Like, what? Ain't nobody entitled to shit. I'm survival of the fittest. You get what you work for, dog eat dog, blah blah. She like, nah, Ken, I am entitled to money. And it just comes. People just come, opportunity just comes. She said she wasn't saying that she doesn't work, but it's the opportunity. She works opportunities, and I was like, okay, where is this entitlement starting? And it was just a conversation that she was having with herself over and over and over again. Like, I'm entitled to money. I'm entitled to money. And I started to like, okay, if I took that on as a mentality, like, what was the worst that can happen? So what started happening is I started being around more money, right? Just around it. I was in the proximity of it, right? And I would network, but the next day I wouldn't call the person. I didn't actually believe it, right? See, I've been on welfare before, so I thought when I got the number of the person, all right, that was it. Yeah, you need to call me, right? It's a welfare mentality where it's like, all right, I need you to do the work too. So I didn't always believe that I was entitled to money, because if so, that I would make the call. The person said, "Hey, give me a call." We had a great introduction, and who knows what would have happened if I went down, or if I followed up and went down that path. Who knows? Maybe we wouldn't even know each other. Who knows? But the problem is I didn't believe it. Right? I was just, oh yeah, I'm entitled to money. Okay, now the opportunity is around. Now talk shit, swallow spit. Right? What's good? So now I got hella numbers in my phone of what it looked like now, 6, 7 months later. Hey man, I was Ken from the conference. Like, you got a call when it's fresh. So I had the arrogant part of, yeah, I'm entitled to money. Okay, now the money's around. Now what kind of conversation you having? Right? So there is a repair that we can do on ourselves. We can affect the cause, right? So much that the effects for real is abundance. Yo, I'm telling you, they cap to us so hard about how dangerous the world is. Oh, and everybody is crazy. And there ain't no more money out here. All they do is talk fear all the time, right? There there's no win. And what does it even look like? You know what I'm saying? It's racism, it's gender, it's the money, the supply chain, everybody selling fear, right? All right, cool. What happens when you align with their philosophy? What do you get? What's the perks? So, all right, cool. It's what they say it is. Now what? What happens? If you stay in that philosophy for 5 more years, what's the play? Does it push you closer to your vision board? If that's the, I say do it. If the philosophy or what the person is selling you, if you look at your goals and you're not hitting them, then what's the purpose of that philosophy then? Or do you look better? Do when people see you, are they like, yo, I'm seeing you make changes? Can you link that to the philosophy? No? And what you doing? Right? Because that philosophy has a major effect on the cause. You start to biology of belief, you start to really embody this shit. Right? So every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law, not recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. And this is the principle of cause and effect. This principle embodies the fact that there is a cause for every effect and an effect for every cause. It explains that everything happens according to law. Now, many people say, man, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens based on law, right? Based on law. See, we can measure that better than everything happens for a reason. That's spooky, right? Shit happens because it happens, but it's based on law, right? Okay. It explains that everything happens according to law, that nothing ever merely happens, right? That there is no such thing as chance, that while there are various planes of cause and effect, the higher dominating the lower planes, still nothing ever entirely escapes the law. The Hermeticists understand the art and methods of raising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane, they become causers instead of effects. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. Oh, it's capitalism. Oh, it's communism. Oh, it's feminism. Oh, it's patriarchy. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. White supremacy. Hmm. This is why you can't speak for a collective of people. You can't speak for everybody else. You cannot speak for the collective of women. I can't speak for the collective of dudes. You know why? I don't know the work they are doing. We ain't all the same. I can't speak for black men. I ain't them. Right? Racism, white supremacy, environment is not going to stop me from me getting what I want. I can't speak for that man because I don't know his work. You can't speak for that woman. You don't know her energy. You don't know the work she do, right? You don't know her on an energetic level. You do not know what she's putting out. So you can't put that on a system because you don't know what's going on inside of her. Remember, what's up with the astrology, yo? It's all about life path numbers and numerology and cards and all that. It's all about new age spiritual shit, right? Until somebody catches an L. Now you back to regular 3D, talking about karma, talking about systems, talking about women, talking about men, and you remove yourself from the story. That's very interesting to me. So when you want to debate, when you good, you very spiritual. You sticking yoni things up your twat, right? The dudes is doing all this performative shit. But when you have a baby with the wrong dude, when you have a baby with the wrong woman, now you not spiritual no more. Now you 3D talking about the modern woman. Or now you back 3D talking about these dusties. But on the vacation, it was the stars are alignment and retrograde and all that. Hey, check this out. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and the desires of others stronger than themselves. Heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. But masters rising to the plane above dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers, as well as the environment surrounding them, and become movers instead of pawns. They help to play the game of life instead of being played and moved about by other wills and environments. You might want to breathe through that. First of all, let me tell you, I've been there, right? Obedient to environment. I was obedient to hip hop. I was obedient to the way Dipset taught me how to date. What? Buy a bitch a teddy bear, nigga? Is you crazy? What? Never. No, seriously, I learned how to date from rappers. Seriously, right? I grew hip hop was that powerful, right? Now they were older dudes. They was giving instructions on how to move, and that was the religion, right? That was the religion. So when they said it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none, that was law, right? That's pawn thinking. I don't know these dudes. I allowed them to influence my cause. Now, most people would think negative hip hop is the cause of a lot of bad behavior. But all it is just water to the seed. The cause is inside of me because that's what pushes the energy out. I'm the cause. I'm the cause. The hip hop, the food, the distraction, it was here before me. That's not the problem. It is not my job to try to take negativity away from the world. It is my job and my path to figure out how to repel it off of me. I can't stop it. I have to know how to engage with it, right? I have to know how to engage it with it. I can't stop it, right? I have to know strategies, mental strategies. I have to know breathing techniques. I have to know ways to tap in power with inside of me to move, right? I can't stop it. I have to move the energy around because it's never nothing else. It was never no woman. It was never the schools. It was never poverty. Nothing was ever picking on me. Nothing. I'm nobody's victim. Nobody was doing anything to me. You know, if there were people that I wanted to them to love me, they ain't the problem. The problem is why do I want them to love me? And if they don't, so what? Right? No one else was ever the problem. Oh, this woman don't want me. Okay, the problem is why do I need her for that? Right? Why does she have to be that person to me? It's always me, right? The cause. So let me go and sit with the cause. Let me audit what's going on in here. Yo, we got a special ability that we can tap into. Like we can go really sit with ourselves. Right? We can be sitting in a boardroom, in a car, on a plane, and actually travel somewhere else. And you can actually take a seat next to yourself and have a conversation with yourself like, sis, what's up with you? Bruh, what's up with you? What's going on with you? And you can actually conceptually look at yourself, look at the cause, and look at your diet. Oh, okay. That's why you yelling at your babies. Oh, okay. That's why you making excuses. Oh, okay. That's why your energy is so low. That's why you're attracting the people you're attracting. Okay, look what you allow. That's so interesting that people have more dating standards than they do standards in regards to what they allow of themselves. Right? Hella dating standards. oh, a woman gotta be this, or a man gotta take me here, right? Everybody got these standards, but these same people that are strict on these standards, these women talking about no coffee dates. Hey sis, look at your phone though. Look at your phone, fam. Look at your phone. You're watching bullshit all day, but you have the nerve to draw a hard line with a date. Look at what you consume though. Yeah, man. A woman gotta be feminine, fit, and friendly. Really? But when it come to your attention span, bro, you don't have those same standards. But a woman gotta be hella shit. But on your phone, you watching prank videos, bro. You eat anything. You think anything. You have any type of conversation at the barbershop. But a woman gotta be something? Or it's a no-fly zone. You really going down the checklist, but your own personal routine is off? Where does everybody get the nerve? Y'all have those standards for other people, but when no one is looking, let's go through your phone and look at what you're into. Where's the personal development? Where's the real standard for real? When a person does go on a date with you, are they gonna walk away like, damn, yo, this person taught me something tonight? Hell no. You know why? Because many of you reject knowledge. You don't want to learn for real. You want confirmation bias. That does something with your cause. You want to listen to the same shit over and over, telling you it's modern women's fault, telling you it's these dusties, telling you, teaching you how to finesse, you over and over and over and over and over again. But see, but knowledge itself, it's a little more. There's a reason why people stay out of there, because it's ugly. Because knowledge itself, when you really go sit with your inner woman, see, your inner woman will tell you, baby girl, you's a bum bitch. Straight up. You online talking yak about man with money. You's a bum bitch. You don't finish nothing. You start. You a bum. I know you a bum because I'm yourself. See, that inner self I have talk to a nigga for real, for real. Bro, you online talking about women gotta weigh this and weigh that. Fam, you don't even change your sheets. Fam, you haven't even overcame your childhood fears. It don't matter if you got a passport. You just gonna take these bad habits to Colombia and Brazil. Everywhere you go, there you are. You're not official here. How can you all of a sudden step foot in DR and be that dude? You're not that dude here. That's the shadow work though. Cause that's gonna be honest. Hey, you can do better. Hey, your money is funny. Hey, you're all using credit cards. Hey, those are really rentals. Hey, you're stunning with the re-up. That's not your bread. Hey, that's not your hair. Hey, that's not your breast. Hey, that's not your ass. You don't want to go there though. Hey, you're an underachiever. Someone else is carrying you. Hey, you don't really believe in yourself. Hey, you pretty, but the inside of you, you're ugly. Hey, you have sex and you don't even know why. Right? You give up duty dick and duty puss. That's not what you really want. You really want to break. See, that's the knowledge of self journey. See, that's the cause. See them kind of conversations going on the inside? That's the reason that hood look like that. That's the reason that marriage look like that. That's the reason why your entire life looks like it does. Because that little quiet, silent conversation you have with yourself. That's why you come online and hide behind avatars. So you can suppress that voice. The truth. You don't want the truth. You will listen all day to the truth about the Rothschilds and the DuPonts and the Onassis. These powerful families, the Medicis. You want to hear the truth, the conspiracy. Oh, is it really UFOs? Oh, is it really shapeshifters? But if I hold up a mirror, everybody's going to bounce. Because that's where the real work is, yo. That's where the truth really resides, beyond a car, beyond a BBL, beyond a lace front. That's where the truth really is. But do you want any smoke with the cause? Because if you do, then you can't be on baller alert no more. Because if you do, if you want smoke with that, now you can't follow Andrew Tate no more. The path won't allow you. Because you already know, you would know that the matrix is just a womb. And there ain't no matrix outside of you. There ain't no attack on men. There ain't no attack on masculinity. There ain't no attack on women. There ain't no attack on femininity. That's a finesse to keep you in the body. It's always been like this. It's always been something going on. That is to have you fighting wars you cannot win. First of all, they don't even exist. This is a world stage. But if you believe it, you begin to shape the cause, and now you have nothing but paranoia. And now you're waking up every day thinking that, what's the point? None of this even matters. Right? You in a constant state of fear. All you do is talk about what the world isn't. There ain't no men. There ain't no women. What are you talking about? The earth produces dudes. All type of dudes, too. The earth produces women. What do you mean there ain't no good woman left? You will say that because you ain't good yourself. Because you're thinking that from the cause. Inside of you, you have shaped your inner guy a certain kind of way to where you can only see the worst things in life. You have shaped your inner woman. You have shaped this being to only project to you the worst parts of humanity. But you wouldn't need to do that if you studied yourself. Because the worst parts of humanity are inside of you already. Whatever you think is the worst, you have the potential and capability of being it depending on the situation. You also have the ability for abundance. So if you have seen someone on a yacht, the same way that you have the potential to do the most horrific things, you also have the potential to max out on your smarts, to Elon Musk your way through whatever field you're in. You also have that potential. Now, if you're going to tell me these people aren't real and they're some type of AI, okay, cool. But if they are human, whatever they are tapping into, you are tapping, you have the ability to tap into as well. Your thing might not be tech. Your thing might be a teacher, a math teacher. Your thing might be a gardener. You can be the Elon Musk of gardening. You can be the Gary V of painting. You have the ability. They are not tapping into anything secret. Well, it is. It is. And it's the human potential. And that is based on the cause. There's two of you. Just like you see me here, I have another self. That's my real self. My real self is not a group of niggas. My real self is not Garvey. Learning about Garvey is not knowledge of myself. That's not me. Learning about Malcolm X is not knowledge of self. That's not me. The real me, I got a mother wound. The real me, I've been hurt. I don't know about Malcolm. Right? The real me, I've been abandoned and neglected. I'm pissed off about that. Right? That's the real me. The real me is also a kid and is innocent and like to jump on beds and have pillow fights. I don't know about these group of niggas. Learning about Umar Johnson is not knowledge of myself. That ain't me. Now, on a spiritual level, we all share the same breath, but I'm not even getting on that kind of altruism or hippie shit until everybody change. You can't get that version of me. That's the hippie version. But knowledge of myself is going inward, taking a look at the shadow, right? Ain't got nothing to do with these people. Civil rights, Maggie Walker, Harriet Tubman, Booker T. Washington, great. But that's not my history. My history is those bad habits I picked up. My history is there were times I should have said no and I said yes. And there were times I said yes when I should have said no. My history has a wounded child. That's my history. That's personal, right? I got to sit with that because when I sit with that, I begin to have a influence on the effects, right? Instead of being a victim to the environment. Remember, the masses of people are carried along. You ain't never feel carried? You don't have a problem not being in control? Now, for 3D people, they say, oh, just give it up to God. And if that's their perspective, that's fine. But I would like to be more in the driver's seat of my life. So the masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. Damn, bro, feminism stronger than you? Damn, sis, patriarchy stronger than you? These men are stronger than you? Damn, bro, the modern woman is stronger than you? She is just controlling your whole reality, huh? Until this modern woman changes, you ain't gonna be able to grow and develop into the man you're supposed to be, huh? So let you run to another man's patriarchy. Because there you can really thrive, right? The men there have created the conditions ripe for you to be your best self, right? Or sis, do you need these men's? Do you need these men's to take their foot off your neck and then you'll write your book? And then you'll be the best Keisha you can be. But you ain't gonna do that until these men's change. It's not how it works. Not for legendary status. And I ain't talking about NBA championships. I ain't talking about winning Oscars. I'm talking legendary status that no matter what was going on in the world, no matter what was going on in the world, you still became what you were supposed to be. No matter what, no matter how tough it was, no matter about the systems in place, you still loved somebody, still gave to somebody, still forgiven and forgave yourself. No matter what was going on, you still chose, right, yourself with all the distractions, with all the reasons not to, right, with the pain that you have to endure to be shit in life. Because you have every reason not to. You have every reason not to love on nobody, for real. You have a reason not to. You have every reason not to have no babies. You have every reason not to get married. You have a reason not to try. You have a reason not to get up in the morning and keep fighting the good fight. You have a reason not to read. You have every reason to sit on the couch and eat chips, cheese doodles with the... Whew, caught a flashback of my fingers. Hot fries, the official hot fries with the dude with the hat. Stop playing. You know what my fingers look like? All day, and I'm touching on people's furniture and shit. But for real, you got every reason not to give. You got every reason not to receive. You have every reason not to try. Because I ain't going to lie. It's some bullshit. Right? The money means everything. But then again, it don't. Right? If you have babies, some of them might pass away. If you fall in love, you might get your heart broke. They're for everything you touch, it dies. Everything you work hard for in life, you lose in the end. That can be depressing, right? You work hard just to be a millionaire and realize you're broke, and some baller pulls up on you with the $1 million watch. So the money that you thought was everything, somebody got it on their wrist. That's depressing. You's a baddie. You did all the work. You feminine fit friendly. Knocked you down a provider. You a 10. But your hubby fuck around and fuck with a 5. That's depressing. They told you as a man, do this and do that. You did every single thing. Everything. And got your money. And the women that used to dish you, you realize if you put a couple bands on the table, the same women that was popping that fly shit will do the nastiest shit you ever seen in your life. And you thought she was everything. That's depressing. That's depressing. The paradoxes of life are depressing. You have these babies, and sometimes they're not the ones that bury you. You bury them. That's depressing. You have every reason not to get married, not to have kids, not to work hard. You have every reason not to. The fact that you do, shout out to you. I'm telling you, though, you can go further, though. Because if you have every reason not to, and you already do, why not go to the furthest you can? You already know we're going to lose it. Right? Shit, try marriage. It might not be for you. Yeah, your spouse might go. Yo, that's the game. You keep on trucking. Right? Your baby's going to be out in the world. Might not talk to you no more. Still worth it. Right? Still worth it to travel. Your plane might go down. I'm talking to you real now, right? But if that's your story, at least you went out going somewhere, doing something, pushing your boundaries, right? If you get a divorce, so what? You tried. It's hard to be with somebody. Now you know what it's like. We're here for that. But all this starts with the cause, though. All this starts with a conversation that we are supposed to be having with self. Listen, y'all. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves, heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes moving them around like pawns on the chessboard of life. But the masters, since it's Sunday, but the masters, shout out to all the pastors putting it down. But the masters, it said the masters. But the masters rising to the plane above dominate their moods, characters, qualities, powers, as well as the environment surrounding them, and become movers instead of pawns. You can be something other than what you are right now. Something that is bigger than your gender. See, we can argue about gender all day. Now, there is something that man and woman where you don't argue about. Y'all can meet right in the middle with each other, and that's to be a master. When you are a master, it don't matter if you're a woman. It don't matter if you a man, because you sitting amongst your kind, dealing with philosophy, dealing with science, dealing with the esoteric, dealing with the occult. See the 3D shit? Guys over here, girls over here. Now when you a master, the top of the pyramid is not money. The top of the pyramid is knowledge. The knowledge that you can apply where you move the energy of the system around. Where, yeah, it's there. And there are days it will, it get its lick on you. But patriarchy and feminism and capitalism and racism is not the reason why you are failing. You are failing because you ain't digging deep. And I'm not talking about studying harder. I'm not talking about grabbing more books. This is deeper than a hike. This is sitting next to self. And it's very difficult because self is not how you really look. This is beyond makeup. Sitting next to self is extremely ugly because that's your shadow. Do you want smoke with that? There ain't no wig for the shadow self. There ain't no Beijing. You can't Beijing your beard, bruh. You can't bring your keys and your masculine frame into the knowledge of self journey. None of that applies. You can't bring the red pill with you. Sit and have a conversation with yourself. Oh, snap. Address the mother wound. Address the father wound. Address your deviancy. Address your insecurity. Address your jealousy and envy. Right? Address the inner child in you that didn't get a chance to be developed. See, that's the self. So that's why it's always going to be a crowded room when someone is getting exposed, right? Because that gives the crowd the opportunity to hide under somebody that's polarizing. You get to hide. There's always going to be some type of scandal. There's always going to be some type of fear mongering, something salacious. And people are always going to run towards it because it doesn't require anything real. It doesn't require any suffering. So everybody's going to run towards it. But the knowledge of self journey, you will suffer. You will look ugly. Your finances will be affected. Relationships will be tested. Because when you are becoming a new you, everybody can't go. Everything can't go. You're gonna look different. Some women shave their hair off. Some people dye their hair. Some people get tattoos. Some people fall all the way off the map for an entire year. Your finances take a hit. Your car take a hit. Your whole reality starts to really change because you stop giving a fuck about a lot of things and you start accepting the only thing there is to accept, and that is you. You start to pick yourself. Divorces come from this, right? Career changes come from this, right? Separation in friendships come from this. You start to unsubscribe to some shit. If I ever see my analytics and I see people unsubscribe, I never take it personal. I'll be like, damn, maybe I couldn't go with them on the journey. Maybe I didn't say anything wrong. Maybe I just can't go where they going right now. Knowledge of self, do that. People say you switching up. It ain't that. I'm not switching. I'm just tapping in. And what I'm tapping into, you don't fit. And for real, you never should even been here. You're only here because I ain't do the work. My cause has been programmed wrong. Or else you wouldn't be here, because you don't match what I really, really want, for real. This music don't match what I want. This ministry, this media don't match what I really, really want. For the people living in an urban environment, I thought it's a wealth gap. I thought y'all need reparations. Why are y'all so quick to run towards everything that has nothing to do with bread? I thought bread was the problem. I thought status in America was the problem. So how come all the things that actually address that problem, you're never there? So that ain't what you really want. You want entertainment. You don't want paper. You don't want land. If that's the case, then the people that write information on how to get that, how come their shit be struggling? How come personal development is unpopular? If you're telling me there's systemic problems with you, okay, wouldn't you wake up every day with the mindset to attack that problem? So stop telling me about racism, because your actions and your phone history don't show that. But I get it. Your cause is messed up. Those is just the effects. So I can have compassion, because I understand that many of us haven't been taught in the abstract, and many of us haven't been taught the ability to look inside of our own natures and our own selves. So you don't even know that if you want to change the outside, all you got to do is go inward. You've been tricked about the mind. Haven't been taught the mind. Your energy has been, or your attention has been focused on things you think is outside of the body. So you're asking things on the outside for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You're asking things on the outside for courage, instead of tapping in and making that shit come up like a volcano, of really harnessing the power inside of you. You already got the courage. You already got the ambition. You already got the hustle. You already got the confidence. How can you ask something on the outside of you to put something in you? But you came here knowing how to latch on to your mother's nipple. How do you have that coded in you? You have the ability to eat already coded in you. Laughing coded, anger coded, everything already coded in you, but confidence ain't, and ambition ain't, right? Self-esteem ain't. Everything else you got. But you're going to pray for it, because something somewhere is actually hiding it from you. And they're not going to give it to you unless you ain't asked me for courage, so I ain't going to give it to you. But the animals have their gifts already in them. Barking, sense of smell, sight, hearing, the things that make them great. Animals don't need us to put in them. But when it will come to us, we need coaching. Right? We need influencers to tell us we're the shit. We need gods in the sky to give us things. We just come here just not equipped to do anything. But the animals in nature, the cheetah has speed. The jaguar can swim. The leopard can climb. The owl can rotate its head. The eagle can see. Everything in nature has its thing. But when it come to you and me, we got to go to church for our shit. Because we ain't got it. We just born without the things that we need to move forward. So let me go to church for it. Let me get saved for it. Because the animals are born perfect. They got everything they need. Speed, sight, strength, endurance, hearing. But when it comes to you and I, we need influencers. Let me tell you something, and let me tell you something clear. Don't ever follow me. The only thing that I got for you is a mirror. That's it. I ain't your leader. I ain't waking you up. I'm only talking to something that's already inside of you. What you want to do with it from here, that's on you. We are not in a time of followers. Don't come with me because I'm going to go to the back room and you don't need to see what I do back there. That's my goddamn business. I ain't your messiah or your guru. What you're looking for, sis, here go a mirror, beloved. Playboy, what you're looking for is a mirror. That's all I got for you. It is about knowledge of self. One more time. The masses of people are carried along. Ain't you tired of being carried? Ain't you tired of being carried by depression? Ain't you tired of being carried by thinking about your past? Ain't you tired of being carried by systems? Ain't you tired of being carried by narratives? Ain't you tired? Huh. The masses of people are carried along obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. Peep though, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. This telling you right here, this is not about the body. It's other people's, it's other people's will. Excuse me, pardon my phone. It's other people's will that is stronger. It's other people's desires that is stronger. Those that run the planet, what makes them stronger than you? Their will is stronger. Their desire is stronger. The military is just the effect, right? The power that you see them to have governments in check, pass laws, that's just the effect. The cause is their will and the desire. You can listen to Alex Jones all you want. You can listen to David Icke and secret government hidden hand. You can listen to all that all you want. But what the reason why they're doing what they're doing is because they are really tapped into something that you and I have been tricked out of. That is our imagination. That is understanding what energy is, understanding what frequency is, what vibration is, understanding the mind, understanding the different planes of existence and how to tap into it. That's what we've been tricked out of. We've been stuck in 3D, up, down, left, right. We've been stuck in binary thinking, right? This, that, them versus us, right? We haven't been taught to be able to have a conversation with somebody and still be present, but we have 8 different windows open in the mind, like being at a sports bar and you see different games. That's how I think at all times. No matter what's going on, there is 8 windows open, right? Each having a different thought, different outcomes of this conversation, and as we're talking, I'm working through the conversation, right? I'm studying it, right? So in a conversation, when you present something I've never heard of before, or you challenge something that I already think, I take what you think and I look at it from the bottom, I look at it from the top, I turn it around, I move the thought around, right? This conversation that we're having with each other, I'm moving it around, right? Even if you insult me, I heard you, trust me. I'm going to put that right there, put a pin in it, and try to figure out what you're really saying. Like, did you really insult me or did I take it like that? Right? Did you do that or is it me? So that's why I have to put your thought over here and explore what you're seeing. Look, so this is cause and effect. Listen, every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law, right? Not recognized. There are many places of causation, but nothing escapes the law. Okay? So look, the masses of people are carried along. Pay attention. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes, moving them like pawns. What are the outward causes? Oh, it's these men, these does these. Oh, it's the modern woman. Notice both. Who's right? No, okay. Hold on. Let me put a pin in this. How do you referee this shit? Over here, you have women saying this about the men. Over here, you have men saying this about the women. How do you referee this? Because somebody's lying and somebody's telling the truth, right? Now, let me tell you how I referee it. Both y'all lying and both y'all telling the truth. You men are lying and you're telling the truth. Now, here's how I go deeper. A lot of y'all just socially awkward. Okay, here's how I go deeper. Okay, a lot of y'all haven't overcame your childhood fears. Yes, it is truth in what y'all saying. But the issue here is you ain't been picked and you ain't been picked. And now y'all 35, 40, 45, 50 with microphones in your hands. And the how you solve this problem is those that haven't been picked, put them in a room together. And what you're gonna see is the two people that hasn't been picked wouldn't even talk to each other. They would steady be in their phone talking about the other side while the other side ain't picking them. When I see something like that, I go inward because I can't stop nothing like that. These people got to do the work. See, I'm not going to choose a side, right? So you can't referee this so-called gender war. You can't do anything about it. This is the thing. What the occult teaching us. The woman on this side talking about the man over here is the man over here. The man over here talking about the woman over here is the woman over here. They are both the same. Two sides of a coin. And you make the mistake of picking one of their sides. Never. Because if you're picking their side, what about you? What about you? Now you fighting someone's war. You might as well join the military and let them send you to war. At least you'll get benefits. Because let me tell you something. The person that you're following, what happens if they have a change of heart? And now you have walked down this path. You're on this crusade with them, and they have an aha moment, which is fine because they're human. But what happens if that occurs and you have been head first into their thing? You're not gonna get the memo that this dude been banging on women and now he found the love of his life. Okay, now what? It's like well, Forrest Gump stopped. Forrest Gump stopped running. You know what I'm saying? Then when he stopped running, everybody was like, "Yo, what now?" Right? What happened, sis? In the divestment space, and the chick that you're following went hard on black dudes. And one day out and about, she bumped into the love of her life, which she's allowed to. She's allowed to change. But what happens though? Right? Now what? Right? So you was following her, right? But she never told you where she was going though. Right? What's the end game here? Like what happens? She never told you. But she went outside and the day she experienced completely contradicted everything she's been saying in the female spaces. Right? Now she has found the love of her life. Now what about her followers? The first mistake is the followers are gonna say, "Oh, bitch, you two-faced it. You said one thing and did the other." That's the game. No matter what she says, she has a right to pivot based on any new experience that she has. The problem is the follower is a follower, right? And the other problem is that the person with the followers wanted to be followed and they didn't pass out mirrors. Just because you tap out of the mainstream world and you don't allow them to control you, it's no different if you allow some spiritual teacher or an influencer. It's the same thing. You everybody's hoe, right? So before it was the government, and now you don't do that no more, and you got your status corrected, but now you still hoeing for the podcast personality. You the same person. You just set hopped, right? Okay. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves, heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. But masters, right? But masters rising in the plane above dominate their moods. That means the system don't control your moods. The algorithm doesn't control your mood. Your job, no one controls your moods. You do that. That's what makes you the master, right? Moods, characters, qualities, and powers, as well as the environment surrounding them, and become movers instead of pawns. The way the way that you become a mover and a shaker is not from political connections. It's not from conferences. It's not from beating the pavement, passing out your flyers. That's the effect. The way you become the mover and the shaker and a master is by going inside. Yo, it ain't all about your face, B. It ain't all about your eyebrows. It ain't all about your masculine frame and nah, it's about the inside. Let me tell you something, bro. If you really want to get a woman, you don't get a passport, right? You don't do that and try to run to Colombia. That's not the wave. If you really want a woman, then you go design her on the inside of you, right? If you really want to attract a man, sis, you attract them here, right? You attract them here. Why would you work on your face? Right? Your femininity coach doesn't tell you to go inside because she don't even know that it's another being inside of you. She's talking about your weight, right? She's talking about you being dainty. That's the production. She's not telling you that before you was a face, you was a being. The being hopped into the face. But while you're fixing the face and beating the face, what about the being? You're not doing anything cultivating the being because when you get old and when you transition, guess what's still active? The being. The being. what makes what makes the human high value is their ability to have a deep connection with the unseen because the unseen affects the seen. Your value is your ability to go in, and that controls out. Your value is not based on nothing out of us, outside of us. All of that breaks, all of that burns, all of it cripples, all of it needs new upgrades. Right? That ain't the value. The value's on the inside. So that's cause and effect. Again, one more time. Listen, this principle embodies the fact that there's a cause for every effect. Okay? If you have a relationship that you're not feeling, or a marriage that failed, or a business that failed. I want you to reverse engineer how you got there in the first place. Don't just say, when it comes to a man or comes to a woman, oh, it's because I took his number. Oh, it's because of I gave her my number. What mindset were you in when you went on a date with that dude? That's how you got there. The mindset. What was the mindset that made you, or that attracted the woman that divorced your ass and took all your stuff? That day when you was in the car, right? Hey, mama, hey, yo, right? What mindset you was in? That's how you got there. How you got there was not the date. Let's go to the cause. What mindset were you in? And let's make sure that you're never in that mindset again. And if you find yourself again, you're honest about it and you don't make any serious decisions based on that mindset. You don't create a new relationship. You don't make career choices, new career choice or decisions when you are in that kind of mindset, because it happens, right? So the principle embodies the fact that there is a cause for every effect and an effect for every cause. It explains that everything happens according to law, that nothing ever merely happens, that there is no such thing as chance, that while there are various planes of cause and effect, the higher dominating the lower planes, still nothing ever entirely escapes the law. The hermeticist understands that the art and methods of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to the plane that they become causers instead of effectors. The hermeticists understand the art and methods of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect to a certain degree, and by mentally rising to a higher plane, they become causers instead of effects. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves. Heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. But the masters rising to the plane above dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers, as well as the environment surrounding them, and becoming movers instead of pawns. They help play the game of life instead of being played and moved about by other wills and environments. They use the principle instead of being its tools. You heard? Instead of being affected by karma. Oh, karma gonna get you. Okay, how can you use it? Right? Instead of all these things dominating you, how can you rise above it and you use the same concepts to your advantage? The masters obey the causation of higher planes, but they help to rule on their own plane. In this statement, there's condensed a wealth of hermetic knowledge. Let him or her read who can. In a nutshell, the hood, our marriages, our lives, whatever's going on in our worlds, what we are looking at is the effect. Now, I am not talking about the effects of the system or the effects of inflation. That's all part of the world. That's always going to occur. I am talking about, when we look at our lives, if I'm in a bad marriage, some people are in a good one. The fact that I'm not in a good one has everything to do with my cause, because there's an alternative to this, right? If I have no money, there are people with it. So what I'm missing exists, right? If I don't like my car, there are shit that I do like. So whatever I'm experiencing in my effects, there's a flip side to this. And if I am not experiencing the flip side, it's not the job. It's not the hood. It's not the environment. It's me and what I'm impressing on the environment based on based on the cause. Remember, everything happens in the unseen. We know there's an unseen world going on, y'all. When we go outside, we feel the wind blow. That's a vibration. Where is that coming from? That's something, right? We see trees growing from a seed. There's a force and there's an energy going on that it seems like we're independent of, right? But we're not. We have access to the same force and it's inside of us, right? So that's the trick and that's the finesse of really, really focusing on what we call the matrix or the system. And you can't win that, right? So pick your fights wisely and pick a fight where you know you could win. And the fight that you know you could win, even though hard, is the one with the real world and the false world, right? This is the false world. We're in it, you know, it's about pleasure and desire and all that. That's fine. But this is a false world, though. The real world and the true world and the most creative world is the inner world. And you notice when you sleep, when you dream, you notice physical limitations don't apply there no more. Up could be down, down could be up. You could fly, you could turn inside out. See, when you go inside, there's no rules no more, right? You're capable of anything, right? So there's going to be physical, limitations a little bit in this realm, but still you can pull from that creative world and begin to move things around in your own life, you know. And if anyone is interested in moving further with that, all you have to do is scan the QR code right here, and that'll put you on my calendar. For those that want to move forward in personal development and you take your life serious and you want to make upgrades and you want to change, you can. The opportunity is there. All you got to do is put yourself on my calendar. Also, for my members, Wednesday, we are back at it, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We will continue our series, The Wounded Healer. And I've got great responses from those that have pulled up. And that's our behind the scene conversation, strictly for members. We have a series going on called The Wounded Healer, right? And I know a lot of people resonate and relate to that. I'm definitely a wounded healer. And that's what we're talking about. So Wednesday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So that is our shadow series going on. But if you're unable to do that, and for any reason you can't become a member, that's fine. All you have to do is continue this series right here. So we have a shadow series, and then we have the 3D series. And if you're not prepared to go be a part of our shadow series, that's fine. Pull up when you can. So that's Wednesday the 9th at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We will be in our third week of The Wounded Healer. You can put yourself on my calendar. But one thing I didn't tell you about them. One thing I didn't tell you about cause and effect. You see these waves? I always tell y'all that I'm a nigga with waves, right? See, what you looking at is the effect. You're not looking at the cause. The cause is me brushing. The cause is me putting my shit on. You know what I'm saying? The cause is me, treating it and having a relation. No? All right. Next time.
Biggest game. It's like, remember we was all back in high school? Some of you may be still in high school or whatever, but follow me. We had the regular class and then you had honors class. And I feel like Ken Billion's game is nothing but honors class. Everything that you learned in life and been through in life or whatever he's talking about at that certain time, You know, like point of reference, game for guys. You know, everybody learn game from somebody and this and that, and it's all over the place. But once I listened to Game for Guys, it was like being in an honors class. Ken is a brilliant guy. I still listen to him to this day. Listen to him almost every other day, and I stay studying. You know, and if I look at his video and he's giving us homework. I'm gonna look through that video. I'm gonna write my notes down. I'm gonna do my homework. Then I'm gonna watch the next video. I mean, you just can't get enough of the game and the knowledge that this brother brings to you. He's allowed me to look back into history, my own history. I found out about black people that I never even knew about, black millionaires and people like that. Recently, I learned about the reticular activating system, and that's something that I'm studying up on as we speak. Which I plan on reprogramming myself. You know what I'm saying? So overall, the Ken Business game has done a lot for me. It's allowed me to elevate as a man, as a father. It just allowed me to be more excited about life and not be in the program of being oppressed. And that's one of the main things for me that I have to say that this game has done for me. I'm so glad that I ran across it.